If you're planning to study abroad, you're looking at the right video spaces on YouTube. In this video series, Research Education will be going through the steps that you need to take care of to get that wholesome college education experience. College education is not necessarily expensive abroad, but it needs to fit your budgets and should be well within the confines of your wallet, which is why I've painted a list which is beside me, and it has a list of things that you need to be sure about. I would suggest that you make a note of these things so that you can refer to them on your free time and go do your research accordingly. I have prepared a list of the things that you need to keep in mind when you're conducting your college research. The first of these is to define a goal. Your goal can be anything. It can be that you want to get a job after your education. It can be that you want to just get an education so that you can expand your mind, or it could just be as simple as getting exposure. We need to be cognizant of the fact that our wallets are not empty buckets, and we need to make sure that we're saving money in this endeavor to get exposure and study abroad. So what I would recommend is you shouldn't be considering an option that is too unaffordable, because that will burn a hole in your pocket and can have a long-term impact on your finances. However, there is a myth that studying abroad is expensive, because there are a lot of options that are financially viable and will not burn a hole in your pocket and still be great education. However, these colleges are not advertised enough in the mainstream media like a lot of other American colleges, I would say, are advertised as. The third bit is safety and trends. You need to be sure of how to wade your way around the safety of the college and how safe the environment there is, and what trends have been up with the college. For example, if you just make a simple search towards, for example, if I search University of Limerick sports, and if you are interested in sports, there will be a bunch of things related to the same type of content, like what sports are going on at the University of Limerick. Similarly, you can search for like performing arts or tech startups or whatever that is that interests you, and put that as a keyword next to the university that you're planning to go to. This gives you a general idea of what the university has to offer and how you could fit into their trend setting programs. So the fourth option is the option of a community. Why I say this option is important is because humans need community to survive and engage and grow. Without a community at hand, it becomes tough for a person who's new in a city or a place or university to cope with whatever is happening. Therefore, it is very important, according to me, to research the sense of community that a place has. What I've seen from my experiences and from the experiences of my co-workers and peers is that bigger cities tend to have smaller senses of communities, and smaller cities and universities, towns have better communities for bonding and outreach as compared to their bigger city counterparts. The fifth option to research is the school resources. You should know how much the university or college that you're going to is spending on research, and you should know how they're placing their funds across their board so that the student actually gets benefits from it. What is important is that the school should have a research background, and that the resources that are being given to the research departments are being utilized fruitfully. That is when you know a college is doing well, and that is when the ranking of the college goes up. A very important point is talking to current students that are studying in colleges. You can reach out to these current students through LinkedIn, through email, through their alumni networks. Basically, these universities are very helpful when you're getting to the point of knowing the students there. So even if you email the university, they'll put you in contact with some alumni or people who are studying there currently who you can have a conversation with, and that gives you a really big insight into what the university is going to be like and what the environment there is like. A bonus tip would be actually going to a tour of the college. I agree that it is a little unaffordable to do that, but if it is within your means, then you should definitely go for a college tour, because that gives you a lot of perspective into what the life there is going to be like. Okay, so to actually conduct research in terms of what college you want to go to, you need to be sure of what countries you're applying to. So if you want to make research about how many countries there are, essentially, you can do a simple Google search, which is countries in Europe. And then you can see all of the countries that are there in Europe. Boil down to like 2 or 3 countries. You can, for example, I'll look for universities in Spain, and then I can go on the Wikipedia page of the list of universities in Spain. Why I recommend Wikipedia is because it tells you the type of university that it is. I prefer to apply to public universities more than private universities because they've got a more cultural agenda to them than a private university. So here I can see all the public universities and when they were established. A lot of times Wikipedia also shows you the research funding that a university has, and university rankings are based on the research funding that they're getting. So the oldest public university in a country will most probably have the highest research ranking because they've been funded for way too long by the government to conduct research at their university. A very important point for your admission is the entry requirements of the university that you're applying to. For example, I recently applied to the University of Limerick and got accepted there. I haven't really decided if I fully want to go there or not, but it is very important for me to be cognizant of the entry requirements that are there for the university. So if you make a basic simple Google search about University of Limerick entry requirements, you'll be redirected to this page where there are a bunch of countries which have their international entry requirements. I'll go to my country, that is India, and once that opens, I'll see if my CV and resume fits in with the entry requirements that are there for my country. If I cannot make the entry requirements, if I cannot make the cut for the university, then automatically my application is rejected, and rejections are hard to deal with. However, the entry requirements for this university fit well within my CV and what I've done in my school and college years. So therefore, when you're conducting research, a very important aspect of your research is seeing the modules that are there which are listed in your course. So I was accepted for this program called the MSc in Marketing, Consumption and Society program, which has tons of different courses such as marketing theory, consumption and consumer culture, marketing and society, ethnography, pop culture, and then a final dissertation research paper. I'm so sorry, my dog's making a little bit of a ruckus with my skateboard here and I can't really help it. So that's going to be in the video. However, what you have to make sure is that the courses and modules that you're going to study fit well within the confines of what your resume and CV talks about. If you're not interested in what you're studying, then spending money for an education is worthless because you won't be going to classes or you won't be attending those classes with your full heart and mind, and therefore there is no point of wasting that kind of money unless your dad's like loaded. But for most people that's not the case. Therefore I would recommend you to go through the program structures and module list and then make your decision accordingly when you're conducting your research. For this video, I think this is it, because in the next video I'll be covering what documents and transcripts you need and how to get those transcripts from your older universities or colleges, and I'll be covering about how to go about making the statement of purpose, how to send them your transcripts, and just how to converse with the university so that your chances of getting accepted are improved. Thank you for watching the video, guys, and I would request you to like, share and subscribe so that these videos gain more traction and I can help more people get to a university abroad and get an exposure that they need, because it is extremely imperative for us in this world to have an exposure which is global, since that is how the